My mom and sister tried to reconcile me with my ex for years, but I married someone else and got pregnant. I started dating my brother's best friend when I was 16. We were together until I graduated high school when he proposed, and I rejected it. There was a lot of drama with my family, with them asking me to reconsider because we could have a long engagement or make a promise to reconcile my relationship with my brother. Our relationship suffered for a while, but the one with my sister never recovered. She was sure my ex was the best fit for me and became unbearable when she started dating my ex's brother. My ex was invited everywhere by my siblings, even to some family holidays, but I didn't say anything since he was their friend too. That is, until my sister started to push for us to get back together. My sister did everything from trying to set us up on blind dates to making us share a room during holidays. No matter the occasion, my ex was invited. After a while, I had enough and asked my parents to intervene. They were clear with my siblings and stopped inviting my ex to things or allowing him to tag along so much. It was slightly better, but while my brother backed off, my sister didn't. It all came to a crash when I met my husband during a semester abroad. He was from another university but the same country, and we just clicked. It was magical for me, and we got engaged after dating for a year. My family was very happy for me, except my sister. She kept insisting I was in the honeymoon phase and would eventually grow out of it. I clearly didn't, and after many fights, I can't express enough how many, and attempts to reunite me with my ex, I simply let her know that if she pulled anything like that again, I would stop talking to her. What does she do after that warning? She makes me her maid of honor and requests I spend all my time with the bridal party, aka my ex, and sets one of her friends as my husband's date. We didn't realize it until we were at the reception, and the poor girl tried to make a pass at my husband. My sister said that since we weren't married, it was okay to explore things with other people. I left the party, and the next day spoke with my parents and brother, explaining that while I wouldn't make them choose, I would not talk to my sister ever again. If they tried to fix things between us, I would simply cut contact with them too. My mom was devastated and tried to negotiate, but my dad and brother said they would respect my decision. Apart from 2 attempts from my mom, I haven't spoken to, written, or had any form of communication with my sister in the past 6 years. My sister has tried everything to reconcile with me, from gifts to tantrums, but I simply don't talk to her at all. If we are at a family event or dinner, I simply act like she doesn't exist. At first, she made snarky comments or tried to create drama, but since nobody backed her up, she gave up. She did have a meltdown when she was informed she was invited to my wedding but would not be part of any preparation. My brother says he feels guilty for going along with it for so long, and his relationship with my ex has suffered. They still talk, but they are not as close anymore. The issue came up when my mom's birthday was a couple of weeks ago, and I finally announced that we were expecting our first child. This is not the first grandchild, but it is the first granddaughter. Everybody was very happy, except my sister. My mom noted that and asked me for tea the other day. My sixth sense told me not to go, but I wanted to be positive. The first thing I noticed when I arrived was my sister's car. Then, as I entered the door, there was my sister, her husband, my ex, and my ex's mom. They wanted to have an intervention, claiming that my childish tactics had gone on for too long. My ex said he was just trying to be romantic, but he understood I couldn't appreciate it. His mom said I was just hurting my sister by not wanting to reconcile, since she only wanted what was best for me, and she had already apologized, so I should forgive her. I just sat there, texting my family, dad, brother, husband, and looking at my mom in disbelief. My brother-in-law had the nerve to tell me I was a hurtful person and needed to learn how to act like an adult since I was having a baby now. Then my mom began reading a letter about how hurt she was that her daughters weren't close, how my sister was wrong but well-intended, etc. Then my sister read her letter, crying and telling me essentially another version of what everyone else had said. I said nothing to anyone, just sat there until my brother arrived. He was angry beyond anything I had ever seen before. He grabbed my stuff and told them all he was really disappointed and disgusted. We went outside and sat in his car until my dad and husband arrived. By then, I was sobbing, and he kept saying he was sorry. I'm unsure what happened in there, but I sent everybody, except Mom, an email with my lawyer's contact info attached and stated that I didn't want to be contacted by any of them ever again, and if they did, I would go to the police. Nobody has contacted me since, but I know from my dad that my mom and sister are hysterical. They told him they hoped to repair things and for my sister to be involved in my baby's life, possibly even being a godmother. My dad is staying with my brother at the moment. They support me, but some other family members don't. I've had mutual friends call me, since they're worried about my sister's well-being and asking me what happened, as she is now going around saying that my husband is keeping me away from my family. I hate having my business in public, but I did go the public route and posted a long FB post about everything that happened. My sister, brother-in-law, and ex are being dragged, which even if it wasn't 100% intended, I feel is deserved. Now, my mom has been inconsolable, which does make me feel bad, but not as bad as she made me feel with her little intervention. I agreed to have a talk with her a couple of days ago and laid down the ground rules for any possible future interaction, including family therapy, clear boundaries, no sharing information about me with my sister, and separate holidays. Most importantly, if she ever pulls anything like this again, she will be for sure cut off. She feels this is too much, but is willing to do it. She thought it meant immediate access to baby news and that everything was solved, but I told her it is a process and she needs to prove she has improved. My dad and brother refuse to talk to my sister, and they keep apologizing for not stopping this earlier. We've forgiven them since they were able to move on and grow. My husband supports whatever I decide, but my mother-in-law is unsure if cutting my mom's access to her granddaughter is the right way to go. She says it is ultimately my decision. I am torn about what to do with my mom. One commenter asked, "What are their logic now? Now that you're pregnant, you should stop playing make-believe with your husband and realize your happy ever after is with your ex. What about your baby? Is your ex and his family going to accept her?" My sister claims she's not trying to get us together anymore, but that I can't take away her chance to be an aunt. She says I'm a bad sister for being close with my sisters-in-law, who are amazing people. I obviously don't believe her. My issue is what to do with my mom. Another commenter said, "She couldn't be your best friend without you dating your ex." I wish I could tell you, but I have no idea what her thought process is. My husband has the theory that she is just mentally unwell. The most ridiculous and scary thing is that my ex still has the mixtape CDs I made him when we were dating. Those things are about 20 years old, and he still holds on to them. Another commenter said, "I'm kind of surprised your stalker ex, and yes, I'll call him that, is still in your brother's life. That said, hold firm with your mother. No timelines, she has to show she can stick to your rules. Your sister needs to live with the consequences of her actions." To be fair to my brother, he did start to cut off my ex when I told my parents I was very uncomfortable with my ex around all the time. I was living away for college but would visit my family during breaks. He also made a very big effort to make my husband feel welcome, which deteriorated his relationship with my ex even more because my ex felt betrayed by my brother. Nowadays, my husband is one of my brother's closest friends, and he only speaks with my ex when it's about our nephew or to not be rude. Update 1. A couple of days ago, I spoke with my mom again. She still thinks she knows best and that I'm the one in the wrong. She even mentioned grandparents' rights and custody. It's surreal, but I know I have to keep my boundaries firm.